and it's possible then to improve and chart a new course for democracy.
Hello and welcome back to our coverage of the NXT Conclave 2026. We've been here in the heart of the Indian capital of New Delhi, listening to many interesting people speak to our audience, and it's been a great day. Parliamentarians from all around the world are here today and throughout the next couple of days to discuss what is next. One of those is Jeppe Søe. He is a member of the Folketing for West Jutland. Thank you very much for joining us. You've flown all the way from Denmark to be here. It's a pleasure to talk to you, of course. First of all, we've spoken before this. You've been to India many times. How do you like it here? How's your trip been so far? What do you like about the country?
Oh, that's the last question because the country is so diverse and so different. I come from a very small country. Denmark is very small. I think there's more people staying on our hotel here in Delhi than in Denmark. It's a great country with many people. And you have from the south to the north amazing different cultures and so on. So that's inspiring to be in a country where you have one leadership for so many actually countries, you could say, different ways. So that's inspiring for me, and it's also inspiring to see a country that actually I have always loved Gandhi. And all of this culture that he left, all these thoughts, all these values, I still see them actually. So when Modi also yesterday said, not in those words, but close, India first, then it's another India first than USA first, America first, as Trump says. It's kind of a good way to say we have to think about what's best for us, and the best thing for us is to cooperate. And I like that about India. And I love it here because there's so much to see also, and the weather is better than in Denmark and so on. But now we are talking politics, and I really admire the Indian way.
And that segues us on to my next question. The India-Denmark relationship, how do you see that moving forward, and what more can you tell us about it?
Well, we have always seen India as a friend. And I think we are getting better and better friends. And now we also have India-EU relationships that's actually on paper now. And that will, of course, also mean a great thing for Denmark. Denmark is, we have a history of Vikings, and we went all over the place doing a lot of things. And many of it was good. And we still are kind of Vikings. We have Lego, we have Novo, we have Danfoss. We have a lot of companies that are brainy companies because when you are a very small country, you have to use your imagination, and we actually use that imagination to great products, and we are also in India. I think the relationship between India and Denmark has always been great. I think it could be greater, and I think we have to use each other. India has on the tech and AI and so on something that I think we will cooperate about because we are also on that stage.
And in terms of when you're meeting parliamentarians like this from all around the world, we're seeing up to over 50 countries represented here. What kind of conversations spring up? What kind of developments are there when coming out of a conclave like this one?
I'm really not saying this because I'm only sitting here with you that are arranging the next. I've been on many conferences all around the world for the time I've been MP. This is one of the greatest I've been on. because you have so many different subjects. You actually take the next to a higher level. What's next in, and then it could be healthcare, it could be tech, it could be globalization, geopolitical questions. So sitting here in 3 days, listening to all these people on stage, even not only parliamentarians, but also experts, and there can be a difference. That's been amazing. And then in the spare time, where there's nothing going on stage, then we are talking. And I think that's actually the solution on many things. We talk too little. Every country is so afraid of Trump right now, and Putin, even worse. And when you are so afraid, then you start saying America first, Denmark first, Germany first, blah, 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 blah. And then we are all sitting there calling ourselves first instead of talking together. And what you have made in these days are a forum where we can, as parliamentarians, really talk into the depth of things. I like that. So thank you.
Absolutely no problem. Let's get a bit further into politics now, geopolitics in particular. Denmark has been at the top of headlines throughout the year of 2025, of course, for one reason. Donald Trump, a possible NATO aggression of one NATO member onto another. Your analysis of that situation, how has it been within Denmark during this time period?
Surreal, I would say. And every time Trump opens his mouth, it's surreal in some way. I'm not saying everything he's saying is stupid. Actually, he stirred the world a little, and we have all waken up. Maybe we have been looking at democracy and friendships and says nothing will change, but he showed us that it could change in a split second, and maybe we woke up and are a little more awake now. The Greenland situation, it's so absurd, but it's not new. I don't know why it's breaking news in these years, because he actually said it in the first term, and our Prime Minister told him it was absurd. She used that word. I knew, because I was in a lot of meetings before he took second term, also with his think tank and so on, that this would come back. Because the Arctic is a problem, and we also, I think, have not been focusing enough on the security of the Arctic. The global environment heats up the oceans, and there will be a new way to sail with the custom things up there. So we have to, of course, be more sure. But the way he talks about getting Greenland, buying Greenland, or taking Greenland, that's the worst of the words, is amazing. I've never heard it before from a friend, from a NATO ally, actually wanted to take something that's part of our kingdom.
And Jeppe, do you see a future in the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, especially since its biggest contributor did, of course, use that verbal, of course it was verbal aggression, especially in this world of big power politics?
If we take every word from Trump serious, then we have a full working day. I think we sometimes should see him as what he is. He's a businessman. He thinks like, I can buy things. He can't do that. He doesn't remember democracies. He's not remembering why we built NATO after Second World War and for what. So I think he's a little off there. And we just told him no. And the Greenlandic people who are in charge of this told him no. It's like he doesn't know that word, but he will find out. I think we forget when we are talking about America that we are talking about a democracy. And yes, the majority selected Trump this time. Could be some other guy next time. And there's also a lot of Americans that are not interested in the Trump way. And they still want to negotiate. They still want to trade with us. So let's please not close all of America because of Trump in a period as president.
And Europe as a whole,
Yeah.
is there future in the European project? Donald Trump, I'm sorry to keep going back to him, but some people continue to say that, you know, Trump says what he believes, yeah. And of course there is certain people who very much agree with him. Is the future for Europe bright, especially in this world?
Wow! If I knew, I would be in another place, I think. If we're talking about the European Union, I think both European Union, also United and United Nations and NATO, they all have some democratic problems, and they are sitting there talking and they never get to a point. Now you're from UK, so you don't know, but you left. But you know, even in the United Nations, you can veto something, and they are. So Putin is just sitting there vetoing everything, and nothing happens. So maybe we should, if we see on the world right now as a geological problem, then we are maybe trying to solve 2026 problems with 1945 solutions. I think actually that maybe we have been sleeping. We have seen democracy as something that we just have. It's nice to look at. It's like a museum. But democracy has to be nursed. It has to be watered so it can grow. And that means that every population, every citizen in a country need to be in democracy. And not only every 4th year as it is in Denmark where you said a vote, but also in daily life. So I think actually we have to look at democracy and maybe rebuild democracy. And crises do that to us. We did it after World War II. It's like when you are in a corner, then you actually take a leap forward when you are backed up in a corner. And I think we will do the same right now, because you're talking Greenland, we could talk Trump, we could talk Putin, we could take the Gaza Israel, we could take Iran. There's a lot of global crisis right now, and they are all coming, I think, because we are sitting there thinking Denmark first, Germany first, Australia first, EU first, India first. Maybe we need a little Gandhi here.
And of course, the theme of this conclave is next. Over the next 5 years, what do you hope to see? Whether that be on a geopolitical standpoint, whether that be regulation in artificial intelligence, whether that be action on climate change. What do you hope to see? What do you think is underestimated in its significance moving forward?
Oh, there's a lot of things, but I think AI and all the tech, that's my area, I think that's underrated. And there's so many possibilities in it. Every country right now is only talking about how to keep children away and so on. That's the wrong discussion. We need to learn children how to use this great machine. And you could say, right now we are talking in English. Mine is not as good as yours, because you're from UK, I'm from Denmark. If you were talking Hindi, I could put on some glasses from Meta, and I could have it all translated live. So a lot of the barriers that prevented us in the past for talking together, they are actually gone. And I think that will be a giant leap forward, that we can actually talk, that we can actually live be in contact with each other. And that means that these tables we created to talk around in after the First World War, Second World War, if we recreate them, then we can actually find solutions. And that is what we are doing at Next in these days. So if you say 5 years from now, there's been 5 successful Next conferences where we meet again,
Yes.
and can start where we left off last time. I think that's very important.
Jeppe Søe, thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you. Well, that's all that we have time for. Stay tuned for more from here at NXT 2026.